When we first started writing this speech, a week before our graduation, and with 3 IB exams still to go, I said, I just can't. I'm having a mental block. But as we thought about it more and more, we came to realize just how easy the job really was.
All we had to do was talk about the one sentence that connects us all. If you haven't already guessed, this is the mission statement. To quickly remind you, the UWC movement makes education a force to unite people, nations, and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. Now, everyone has different interpretations of what this sentence really means, but we've decided to break it down for you into its various parts.
We start with UWC. With this year being the milestone celebration of half a century of our school, we see a unique community of teachers, parents, staff, and most important today, the grade that's sitting in this hall.
Let's go class of 2022!
Now for the important part of this speech. It's important because really there are no words to convey our gratitude to so many people who have been with us throughout all these years. Our wondrous teachers who inspired us to achieve each day and tolerated us at times when I'm sure they couldn't stand the sight of us. I know they even pretended to believe our pathetic excuses on why the essay draft was a month late, or why exactly there were 4 dental appointments scheduled in a week. For all this tolerance, good humor, and patience, we are so, so grateful. Next, our parents. We understand that none of you parents can prepare the future for us, but everyone in this hall knows that you have prepared us for the future. And I hope I speak for us all when I say you've done a magnificent job.
And there are so many other people we need to thank. And we are an extraordinarily privileged group, so let us not forget the army of staff who turn up at school each and every day to put in the hard work which makes everything possible. The community within UWC is what provides such a special experience. We've grown up together. We've signed values forms together. We've all had the looming threat of an IA due or the late-night cram before a test. And we now know that the unique collective experience blends us together and binds us together. Then we move on to education. UWC has taught us that education is not just an IB score. It's taught us patience, caring, and perseverance, but also how to most effectively cut the line at the far canteen. Everybody approaches education differently, but our grade's approach is distinct. We learn through friendships, we learn through doing, and we learn through shared experiences. See, everyone has different takes, but nothing screams education more than the science block burning down. Yay! And you see, no one knows uniting like the United World College. We bring people together any chance we get. Our storied traditions, such as Rock Show or UN Night, will always have a place in my and our hearts. As we screamed like groupies at the finale of Rock Show, I knew that the people of UWC shared the same voice. We were yelling and celebrating together. And I hope that everyone can recognize how amazing that skill can be. As we move on to other things, let us not forget that we have the unified voices of UWCSEA behind us. Now, to talk about our grade without talking about Leavers Week would be a sin, and that's why I want us all to relive some of those moments. The unified joy as we stress our tired throats for yet another song. The promenade of ingenious costuming that swarmed the campus. And of course, navigating our way through the sea of people at a light of the citrus variety.
Just as we've spent time together as a grade, we've also seen how culture can bring us together. When I was younger, I vividly remember embarking on the annual search for the largest lunchbox in my house. The box I'd take with me each year into the main hall for the UN Food Festival. hoping it would be filled with delicious samples of food from faraway places. Having to practically crowd surf to one end of the main hall to get my hands on a single brigadeiro from the Brazilian stall, and then running to the other end to grab the remains of what once was mango sticky rice, is an experience that can only be synonymous with UWC. In a strange way, that box stuffed with culture, flavor, and made with the loving hands of the parents in this audience, I'm really thanking the mums here, reminds me of this ceremony. In front of me, I can see that you're all suited up or dressed in saris, kimonos, or various other clothes that reflect who you are or your culture, and you all look very lovely. But the cultural mix within this hall can be compared with the contents of my precious box. A wonderful blend of different ingredients that mix well together to produce a distinctive and memorable taste. Producing a united world through people and cultures stands at the forefront of the UWC movement. When we were asked to give this speech, we looked back at some of the wonderful and witty speeches that previous graduates had given. And we realized that even though it was just a few years ago, today we live in a totally different and uncertain world. Our founder, Kurt Hahn, was a visionary, but not even he could have predicted that we'd be receiving this education at a time where it would be illegal to sit with more than one friend at lunch, or that GCSE exams would be cancelled for the first time in our school's history. Every leaver's graduation ceremony claims that their graduating class is unique, and they may well have been.
Debatable.
But I can honestly say that there has never been a year like ours in the history of UWC. I won't dwell on the difficulties and the stresses of the past 3 years because, true to the UWC spirit, we as a school have come together today and we have prevailed. To me, that is the essence of the UWC movement, togetherness and unity in times of adversity. As we stand here in 2022, we can only hope that the values that we take away from this education are values that will ensure that peace and a sustainable future are not just empty slogans, but achievable realities.
And I know that one of the values that we hold so dearly is sustainability. Trust me, ask anyone about what goes on with the Tetra Paks at our school, and only a wretched few will be able to answer. We love protecting the environment and our health here at UWC, be it the switch from 2-bite brownies to no-bite brownies, or endless hours toiling in the mountains of Tetra Paks, which, by the way, still gives me nightmares. And you may believe that our largest obstacle that we had to overcome was the IB, but in actuality, it was Veggie Wednesday. And there's even been some grassroots initiatives by students to eat more, be more aware when they eat. You may ask, what initiative? Well, my friends, I'm speaking of Dover Devours. You see, in our grade, we have each other's backs until you see yourself on that account, backstabbed by your closest friends. And our futures are unknown. We're all charting new paths, and some of us, like our NS friends, will have to face the harsh reality of a bald head. Others will have to realize that it is not possible to fit a 7-foot sofa in a 6-foot dorm. I hope we never forget who we are, because we are UWC students. Around the world, there are so many others that have been touched by our mission.
We're so proud of everyone in this hall. Every face reminds us of the experience we had at UWC, the moments of joy and connection that culminate today at this very moment. Many say that the experience at 1207 Dover Road will stay with us for the rest of our lives. Through all the funny times, difficult moments, and great fun we've had, I hope that in some ways our school, its buildings, and these people will never leave us. I think it's fitting that we end by quoting the lyrics of a song that will be forever considered iconic at UWC.
We're proud of what you've done.
Go from here with confidence
For all the things to come. We're pretty good at singing.
Yeah. Class of 2022, it's goodbye for now, although our paths will surely cross again. We love you all so much, and on that note,
Dover and out!